Okay, we had a little bit shorter practice today. It was really on execution, getting ready for A-Day, offensively and defensively. The way we're going to do A-Day this year is we'll start out with a 10-minute 7-on-7. Jarrett Stidham will be a part of that. He will not be a part of the actual scrimmage part, but we'll do a 10-minute 7-on-7, and then we'll go ahead and start our scrimmage. And we'll go 1-on-2s exactly like we've done before. It'll be the same format as far as that, and as far as the kicking game and everything that goes with that. And really looking forward to our guys, getting out there and doing their thing in front of our crowd. So we're really excited with that. Just a couple of injury updates. Caleb Kim had an injury the last week. He will not participate, but he'll be back in a short period of time. Tucker Brown and Phelps Gamble will start out as our centers, and so looking forward to that. Devin Barrett will play some wide receiver. He'll also play some running back, and Devin's a real versatile guy, and he's the type that you need to try to find ways to get him the ball. And so with our injury, a couple of the injuries we had at wide receiver, and so we moved him out to, you'll see him Saturday playing some of our flanker position, and he'll also play some tailback as far as that goes. But overall, we're ready to get out there and ready for Saturday to get here and watch our kids do their thing. Questions?
Because what if it's raining?
No, I mean, if it's just raining, we're planning on playing. So we're moving forward. I mean, obviously, if it's inclement weather and safety issue, that'll be a different deal.
The Devin Barrett thing, is that kind of a response to Eli and Will Hastings going down?
I would say a little bit, just thinking ahead for next year. Devin's got a unique skill set. He was very good on the perimeter last year, and so and he catches the ball. And he catches the ball like a wide receiver. But it's good. I think it's good for our team and good for him. Moving forward, being able to be versatile like that.
Gus, with the center position, Mike Horton, is that a guy that you get through A-Day and then maybe kind of look at him at the end of spring?
Those guys will all be back. So I was impressed, with Nick and then Caleb both. I think both of them before their injuries, was really getting better, and there was some really good competition. So I doubt that'll happen. We do have the flexibility. If you had a lot of injuries, that Mike could provide depth, but we feel good about those centers.
That's from a big picture standpoint. What do you feel like you've accomplished this spring?
Well, I know we've gotten better in a lot of different areas. We talked about improving, and not just the young guys, because a lot of times you can focus on those guys, but the older guys finding a way to get better too, and that's been a focus. And I really feel like our older guys have taken a step. It's been very beneficial for our quarterbacks. Jarrett came back a couple weeks ago and did the 7-on-7 and the team versus scouts, but both those young quarterbacks, there's nothing like getting out there and running the offense, especially when you get a chance to get out there with a one. So developing depth, quality depth, I think has really been good. So overall, I think it's a very successful spring up to this point.
Will Devin's move to kind of that dual role have any impact on the starting running back?
We'll see where that goes. This is just it's been a week and a half, so I'm not ready to say either way, other than he's a versatile guy, and you can do a lot of different things.
How big of the change is that really for him, though, Gus? Last year in the season, he seemed to be lined up a lot in that 2 and 3 spot anyway. So is this that much of a significant change?
It's not much as you would think. With the different things that we did with him last year. The thing that's really stood out to me is he does a very good job judging the ball and attacking the ball when it's vertically thrown down the field. So, he's a versatile guy.
Do you think his future could be a receiver on the?
I'm not ready to say that yet. This is just kind of a temporary thing for the last week and a half, and of course A-Day and all that. But he's a guy that we're looking to take that next step, and he showed he can protect the football last year as a freshman, and did a good job on the perimeter.
Gus, just how important has it been just to have the 7-on-7 portion of things for Jarrett heading into the summer, building towards the fall?
Yeah, it's been very good, and just his command when he's out there just feels different, which it should. He's a veteran guy, and he's like a coach on the field now. That last year he was still learning the offense and learning Chip, and Chip was learning him, and it just feels different. And he's got a very good grip on our offense and what we need to accomplish in the summer too.
Guys, how much of a challenge has the center position been, not just for those guys, but for the quarterbacks? I mean, you got backup quarterbacks that haven't spent a whole lot of significant time, and they're rotating along with second, third, walk-on centers. How much of a challenge has that been?
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point, because it doesn't matter if it's Jarrett Stidham or a young guy. When you have a different center with the way they snap it and the rotations and everything that goes with that, it can definitely be a challenge, there's no doubt. But I will say this, I mean, I think there's been pretty good consistency, as far as the procedures, because that's what you always worry about, the snap count and the procedures and the checks and everything that goes with that. I think the biggest challenge for those quarterbacks is just, one of them may spiral a little bit better than the other, a little bit knuckleball and all that. And, so that definitely has been a challenge.
Will you have Chip Lindsey and coordinators in the booth, or you just keep them on the sideline?
They'll be on the sideline just like we've done in the past, and have headsets on and all that. I'll be able to communicate with them too.
What are you looking for Saturday? Like when you kind of break it down, what are you looking for out of your team?
Yeah, I'm looking big picture execution. Our guys to play extremely hard, play good clean Auburn football, and that's really the main thing. And obviously, we're going to go ones against twos, and every spring, there's been somebody to step up and make some plays that maybe they hadn't made, up to this point. There's nothing better than evaluating your players, not only at scrimmage, but even in front of your crowd, because there's just something to being out there in front of the crowd, and some guys seize a moment. So,
Yes, will there be any live kicking game?
no, there'll be no live kick game. But now we went live the last two Saturdays, and it's been really good. But we'll have it set up exactly like we've done in the past. I mean, we'll do the field goal and extra point when it presents itself. We'll let our guys come out, and our snapper and our punter and punt returners will flip the field. And but there will not be live special teams.
How do you've put a lot of emphasis on that, how do you feel about coverage units and then also your returners, and who's kind of working that area in the spring?
Yeah, it's the same group that we've had, but really probably the biggest emphasis in the spring has been cover units, because we weren't very good in the punt cover or the kickoff cover. So that's really been our focus, and and I know we've gotten better, and a lot of that is an attitude, and just so it's been good for Coach Porter to kind of evaluate everything, and we're in a good spot, in the coverage units, at least with the information that we have through the live work, going into the fall.
Yes, we've heard a lot about a lot of those young defensive backs. How pleased have you been with the way they've kind of transitioned so far?
They all have ability. That's the first thing. I mean, it sticks out. I mean, they all have ability, and you've seen that group grow. They're very coachable. They're trying to do what their coaches ask them to do, and they're a talented group. So, there's nothing like reps. I mean, you got to keep putting them in there and keep letting them do their thing. But they all can play.
Gus, where are you with the tight end and H-back position? You feel like you have a good feel as to what you have, and
yeah, I think
yeah,
and Coach Porter, he's done a good job. We have a lot of information, with Chandler, and just trying to develop some depth at that position, and we've really worked hard with our tight end. I know we've had more probably tight end work with our hand down than we've had probably the last few springs, and that's been by design. And so that's been good in the spring.
How's John Samuel doing there?
Yeah, he is playing with his hand down and playing some H-back too. Real versatile guy that, him and Jalen are really doing a lot of the same stuff as far as that goes. And Sal's worked with his hand down quite a bit. Not as much H-back, but quite a bit with his hand down as far as that goes. So it's been good work though.
John put on any weight?
Yeah, I think John's close to 250 right now. He has put on weight, and he's got good hands. And he's a baseball player and all that. So this spring's been good for him. He's got a whole lot of reps, and you see him improving. I mean, he still needs to keep working, but you see him improving.
Is there a chance Noah will play both ways?
What's that?
It's a chance that Noah will play corner and wide receiver?
It is possible, but he'll start out on defense, and he's really done a good job. He's got an edge to him. He's got that confidence that it takes to be successful playing corner. It's just You know, it's kind of new to him, but every practice you can see him being more comfortable.
Gus, without asking for specifics, obviously, have y'all done anything, put anything different, changed any scheme things this spring?
You know, usually the last week of spring, you kind of look at some wrinkles and all that. There's been a few things that we've looked at, but the main thing, especially up front, is just giving those guys a base and continuing to, you know, to work at the techniques and the fundamentals. And like I say so many times, is working beside the guy beside you, and that communication that goes with and everything that goes with it. So there were some things that Chip played around this week, but up front it's been pretty much you know, status quo, and that's, you know, with the youth that we had, that was by design too.
Anything else?
Thank you.